Joey Reviews.
So the Book of Exodus came out, and it's a book that exists. Yeah, I don't know, this just didn't quite do it for me, even though everyone's raving about it. And I can already hear the fans crucifying me in the comments. And you know what? If you're able to turn off your brain and enjoy this sort of media, more power to you. But there's some really stupid things in this story. The plot of this whole series hinges on the fact that there is only one God. This story wants us to actually believe that. This premise honestly does set up some interesting themes about human free will in a world where there is an all-influential God. But instead of exploring that, we get this. Because it wouldn't be a Bible story without a massive third-act CGI battle ending in a Deus Ex Machina. One big downgrade from Genesis is that I feel like they generally nerfed the character of God. He goes from being this all-powerful super deity who created everything to just kind of being a wizard who does magic tricks when it conveniences the plot. In fact, there's a point in chapter 47 where God just disappears. It's like the writers just forgot to give him dialogue, and the story follows this 17-year-old kid getting sold into slavery, which ends up being the reason why all the Jews end up in Egypt. I'm not making this up, guys. This is actually how the story goes. This book, unlike the last one, ties into real-world politics and features the Pharaoh, but it just ends up coming off as really preachy and political. We don't want political agendas in the Bible. Just show us a great flood and we'll be satisfied. It should be so easy to make these books. But overall, the worst part of this book is that it's boring. I'd honestly rather these books be campy and poorly written, but exciting, than just be flat out dull. This entire book can be summarized as characters talking to each other about the plot, characters going to a different place, characters leaving that place, characters wandering in the desert, characters talking to each other about the plot, characters talking to God about the plot. And another thing, just like in the last book, all the characters talk in weird, metaphoric poems instead of normal dialogue. Now, the nerds who defend this franchise will tell you, oh, it's deep, it's philosophical. I graduated with a film degree from the University of Alexandria, and even I can't figure out what these guys are saying half the time. People are already basing their entire belief systems off this franchise, and honestly, that's just hilarious. I mean, there are already 3 more sequels in the works, so you might as well. Hey, remember when Moses and the Israelites got tracked by the Egyptian army in the desert and then they had to cross the Red Sea? Well, they wouldn't have been tracked if they had used NordVPN. Yes, NordVPN existed in biblical times.
Get out! It's over.